This was right after my father died. My stepmom, Natalie, was extremely distraught, to say the least. She took it harder than probably anybody because, to me, it was my father, but, I was a man. I could stand on my own 2 feet, and the same was true for my brother. For her, my dad was her whole life, so she was destroyed by his death. And of course it was made all the worse by the fact that she had a very young daughter with him. And so she became suicidally depressed. One night, everyone got together and decided to take her to a nice dinner. And I volunteered to stay home with my younger sister to watch her, to make sure that she was, going to be okay. So the evening was normal. I put my sister to bed around 9 or 10 o'clock, and I was on the computer. I'm just, doing what I normally do. Probably looking at porn, stuff like that. Maybe I was browsing a few news sites here and there, probably looking for ideas for YouTube videos, as I often do. And I hear this noise coming from my dad and my stepmom's bedroom. It wasn't like a crash or anything that dramatic. It was just kind of a creaking noise. I guess I'm being a little disingenuous here. It didn't sound like a creak. It sounded like a moan. So it sent, shivers down my spine pretty much immediately. Maybe this story's a little too intense for a fun Halloween video now that I think about it. But I guess I've started, so it sent shivers, not down my spine really, that doesn't happen to me, that's a cliche. It sent shivers up my neck. It made my hair stand up, because it truly sounded like a human moan, or something very close to a human moan. And I know that's a cliche, a ghost moaning. It wasn't anything so contrived as that. It was like I don't even want to try to recreate it, but it was I don't know, something similar to that. And I think to myself, I probably just imagine this. I'm in the house. I've just had a traumatic event happen to me a couple weeks ago. I'm here alone for the first time since my dad's death. I mean, not alone because my youngest sister is there, but she's asleep, and I'm truly, feeling alone. I'm really starting. I mean, when someone that you love dies, at first you don't really recognize it. You feel as if they could enter the room at any time, and oh, hey guys, I'm sorry I was gone for a second there. It really takes a couple of weeks before it really hits you that they're gone. Everything they are, everything they were, everything that was in their brain is just kaput, and it's oblivion. So I was just starting to really come to terms with my father's death, and here I was alone in this really big empty house that feels all the more empty because he's not there anymore. And I hear this moaning sound, so of course I immediately chalk it up to, okay, I'm obviously hearing things. My mind is playing tricks on itself. And just to assure myself, I decide I'm going to go into the bedroom and investigate to see if I can find anything that would have made this noise. And I walk in the bedroom and I see my father's stupid Tempur-Pedic bed that he wasted I don't even know how much money on. and there's all his pictures on the wall, and everything's the same, but it feels so different. It feels so empty. It feels like someone took everything that was in the room and replaced it with exact replicas that were just moderately flawed in ways that are not quite perceptible, but together it just leads to this feeling of unease when you look at it. So I'm not feeling assured by what I see here. I feel all the more distraught, but I can't pinpoint anything that's wrong. I'm looking around the room. I don't see anything that jumps out at me as like, what's that? It's my dad's room, and yet everything about it feels wrong to the core. So I look around. I even look in like the drawers. You know, I look in my dad's drawer and see all his stuff still in there because it hasn't been moved yet. You know, I see his watch, and I'm thinking he's never going to wear that watch again. I mean, it's really hard to deal with the death of a loved one. If you've never been through it, then I really can't describe it to you. But anyone who's been through it knows exactly what I'm talking about. Everything that was theirs, you realize that that thing that was once of value to somebody is now of no value other than the value that you place on it because of the hole that's inside of you, because that person has been removed from your life. And I'm walking through the room, I'm looking through the drawers, I'm being probably a little bit more nosy than I should be. And I suddenly get this impression that I'm being watched through a nearby window. You ever get that sense? You ever just give yourself the heebie-jeebies and feel like something's watching you from the nearest window? And either you have to leave that room or you have to go check that window to make sure that it's just a feeling. Well, I walked over to the window and I opened up the blinds. And for a moment, I thought that I saw my father's face in the reflection. Of course, it was just my face, because me and my father were very similar looking men. And of course, you know, in my heightened state of panic, I see his face. But then I realize it's just my own reflection. And I'm relieved, but I'm backing away from the window because of the shock that I just experienced. And that is when I felt a hand settle down on my shoulder. And it was unmistakable. It was the feeling and pressure of a human being slapping his hand on my shoulder. And I turn around and, of course, there's no one there.